I just moved into a new studio and I need to set up my desk, so in this video, we're gonna do exactly that. A non-minimal desk setup in a new city packed with colors to drive my inspiration. This is what we're starting with. Basic IKEA countertop and a PC that I made an entire video about. I'm not gonna break that here. If you wanna watch that video, it's down in the description. First, we need a monitor, and this is a 34-inch curved display monitor by GIGABYTE, and it was one of the cheapest ones you could buy back in 2022, coming in at around $480. Now, you can't really get it anymore, but luckily there are much cheaper options available today. The important thing is that it's 34 inches widescreen and it's got a 144Hz display. And also be very careful. If you've ever been addicted to smoking, cocaine, Hong Kong action films, widescreen displays are the same level of addiction. Once you get used to getting work done on a widescreen, you will literally never be able to go back. Next, we gotta add some aesthetics, ladies and gentlemen. Let's run the desk with a cheap felt mat for the peripheries. Guys, I know humans that pay over $50 for desk mats. Don't fall for that corruption unless it's like unicorn leather. Just go for the cheapest one you can find that has embroidered edges. That way you don't get any loose threads on your desk. Now we need a keyboard. These are displayed in order of price right now. We got the Luminkey at $200, the Black Widow V3 by Razer coming in at about $100, and the V700 DIY by Rapoo coming in at about $60. Now first, I want to make one thing very, very clear. I am a fallen Razer fanboy since 2012. I was 12 back then, and I was cheating professionally in Dota 2 competitions in my school, and that's when I got my hands on a Razer Mamba. They had that packaged in an acrylic showcase with an unruly number of plastic drawers with like all the cords. This was back in a time when words like microplastics or USB-C or Greenland didn't even exist. No one knew what they were. And so Razer would make their packaging insane, but their product was subpar. This Huntsman is my like 12th Razer keyboard since 2012, and it's broken. But I'll let you decide which one is the best. First, listen to the clicks. Yeah, y'all heard that, right? Okay. So it's obviously these two that sound the most butter. But there is one experience in this $60 Rapoo keyboard that I just can't put into words. These keycaps are super well made and have a very soft velvety texture to them that enhances the typing experience. The $200 Luminkey keyboard does not have any texture, so these keycaps feel a little bit more plasticky and cheap. But it's not just the keycaps. The Rapoo enhances typing with custom-made silver switches for linear feeling clicks. And if you don't know what that means, you want linear switches. If anybody asks you, do you want red switches or brown or Korean, just tell them linear. That's the only acceptable answer. If you have roommates, a dog, a medulla oblongata, they will thank you. Got my keycap tool right here. So I can actually like remove the keycaps on these. Obviously, I mean, it's a keyboard, right? I'm gonna take the F12 key out. So that's a green switch. I wonder if you can hear that. Now I'm gonna take off the F12 key on the Rapoo. Custom switches, yep. Ooh, okay. The Rapoo is quieter actually. Very interesting. The Rapoo also has an additional 7 layers of internal padding that also reduces noise, but most importantly, it's wireless. It's got a battery that lasts 800 hours, which is similar to the Luminkey. And because it's wireless, you can also connect this to a bunch of different like peripheries and seamlessly switch through them. So my point is, loads of value in this $60 price tag. I don't feel bad recommending this to anybody. And one other major difference, it has RGB backlighting, unlike the $200 Luminkey. Next, we gotta get a mouse on the setup, so go get a Logitech or go get something else. Do not buy a Razer mouse. I've been through too many. This is my Razer Basilisk V3. I've been using this for about 13 months now, and that's the longest I've ever gone with a single Razer mouse. And I've been through the Mamba, the Naga Trinity, the Ouroboros, the Death Adder, the Viper, Orochi, Momochi. There was a time, a long time ago, when simpletons said that the only correct choice for gamers was wired peripherals. But that's not the case anymore. There is no real latency going wireless unless you're playing like rapid 1-second chess matches. The wireless setups do so much to keep your desk looking sleek, so I always go for wireless peripheries. Oh, we need a mouse pad, by the way. So that's the mouse. I've been using this glass mouse pad by SKYPAD since 2020, and it cost me $20 back in the day. At some point between then and now, something happened. The price of this thin slab of glass went to over $100, and that is corruption. No matter what you think, buy a mouse pad that expensive. You're not an esports legend, so I just recommend going for like an Amazon Basics mouse pad here. Or if you want to get a little bit fancy with glass, there are some much cheaper options as well with interesting designs and textures. The cheaper glass mouse pads aren't going to be frosted with like this kind of texture, but it will have a lot of ridges to it, so it still works very well. I mean, I've used them. My whole point is don't fall for the propaganda. There's no NIH study that verifies $100 mouse pads being any better than $20 mouse pads, okay? So just keep your wallets in check. Next, let's get some speakers hooked up, and I'm using these Logitech speakers. Everybody and their mama knows about these. Now, I got them for $15 from Best Buy back in 2020, and these were so good that I went back that same week to buy another pair, and they were $20. I wanted to buy another pair for my brother. They literally went up $5 in price that same week. Now these cost close to $90, and they justify that with some propaganda. Point is, I would honestly be okay paying $90 for them also. These have been working now for 6 years. Every driver has been bumping and nothing has died. Sound quality is still robust, and the build overall is solid, and they don't look that dated either. At this point, everything that's really important is set up, so now let's come in with some essential accessories for the workflow. The first thing is the Kingston workstation. This right here is key. It makes moving any kind of SD cards or saucy files so easy, and it's modular, so like I just highly recommend this. Then there's also this extension clip, which is super cheap. It was like less than $20, but it allows me to charge a number of gadgets, from like cameras to phones, right on my desk. And I also want to add this Statik power bank. It's, first of all, super tiny, and it's translucent. Big W there, love translucent tech, and it's got this like massive battery inside that you can actually see. But it's the perfect emergency power bank for when you're stuck in a locker. It's got a magnetic interchangeable port, and it comes with a USB-C, a lightning cable, and a micro USB for all of your devices. So for example, if I wanted to charge my PS4 controller, it's so easy. I can take the micro USB, stick it on, and charge it. That easy. It also has a capacity of 3200 milliamp hours and a charge speed of 10 watts. So in this tiny package, you get enough power to recharge most smartphones from 0 to over about 50%. So if I am thinking about being outdoors for a longer period of time, and I'm using something like the Z Flip 7, for sure I'll be bringing this tiny power bank because I know that battery won't last me. This is gonna save the day. And if you're interested, you can use the code FOSSILXP20 to get an additional 20% off the entire Statik store. And they have some really cool translucent charging accessories, which I really hope to get to try out more of in the future. Next, we gotta add a webcam for all my hot oiled up bodybuilding streams. Now, usually I used a DSLR. Just back there, you see that, like the Canon right there? Yep. Now, usually if you use a DSLR for Zoom or streaming or any kind of OBS, you're gonna need like 50 different softwares, not to mention that DSLR also heats up and stops recording. So I wanted to try something different. This is the newest webcam from OBSBOT, the Tiny 3. That's so cute. It's got a bunch of wires, like a USB-C, absolutely. This is the cutest webcam I have seen in my life. That is so cute. Look at it. First off, setup is super simple. Just attach the USB-C that comes included, and that's it. It's barely even noticeable. It's got an adjustable magnetic clip, so it can easily sit on my curved display monitor. But most importantly, the video quality is superb. It's got an over 1-inch sensor somewhere in here. I don't know where they hide it, but it's in there. And the results speak for themselves. With 4K 30p, the video quality, especially in low light, is definitely better than any other webcam I've ever tried. Okay, so it's running right now, and you're actually listening to me from the mic that's built into the OBSBOT Tiny 3. And honestly, it sounds pretty good. And for comparison, this is the MacBook Air, the 15-inch MacBook Air's camera, and the 15-inch MacBook Air's microphone. So now I'm using the Air just to compare the camera and the microphone. And it's got built-in AI systems that allow you to track yourself by simply saying, "Hi Tiny, track me." And obviously you can see the triple axis gimbal. It not only tracks you very smoothly, but it also focuses on your audio and has noise cancelling to drown out all the other noise around. It also came with this super cute wireless mic, so I can step away from the screen and demonstrate my patented thunder booty lift routine, and I can still get crystal clear audio and visual tracking. And it has its own little dock to charge up the mic. That's, oh my god, dude, I love this so much. And the build quality on this is phenomenal. It's kinda super solid. It's like the most overkill webcam you will find anywhere. Now my desk is kind of dark, so I'm gonna run some lights. First, we need this diffuse table lamp that uses very soft light, and we're gonna add a wall sconce that adds another angle of light. Then I'm also gonna add some wall art. The wall is actually concrete. I tried to drill in shelves, but I couldn't, so I'm just gonna hang some wall art that I had lying around. Oh, I need the mic as well. The mic is important for my voiceovers and ASMR, obviously, so I'm equipping it with the Shure MV7 with the chubby cable. I love the thickness, but more importantly, these cables aren't actually very durable at all. They're honestly there just for aesthetics. And since I have an open wall, I'm gonna add a SKYPAD, no concrete on this one, and I also added a few additional accessories. First, the Statik vacuum that makes cleaning desktop and computer and like my keyboards super easy. I'm also going to be hanging my Logitech headset on the SKYPAD. It's also wireless and it has a touch of RGB. I really love this headset. And I'm going to be putting up my Wayayyy here just for some aesthetics, to be completely honest. But that's the new setup here in the studio in Mississauga. I have no idea what the total amount of money comes out to be, but I know as soon as I find out, I'm going to be regretting it. I hope you all have a fantastic week. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.